Hello, good morning. This is Maria Bangas, your psychotherapist and motivational speaker, chiming in from Douala, Cameroon, in Africa. This is another Tuesday, and I try to make it a habit to do a video on Tuesdays to put on YouTube, Therapist Mark, something. I think this is the 8th one, right? Okay, so I've been looking at a series of things since I started, little things that can catch our attention, and we can pay more attention to and think about it, and they can help us to avoid some pitfalls in life, especially nervous pitfalls. I'm specialized in mental health and relational wellness, so I will always talk about things which could affect our mental health and our relationships. And of course, I use my personal experiences a lot. I talk for myself too, right? Okay, so it's not because I'm a therapist that I don't need therapy or that I can't provide therapy to myself. So now, last week we were looking at the fear and failure cycle, and I said this week I was going to look more precisely at what we do with fear and failure. Why? Because fear and failure are unavoidable. We can't avoid them. We can deal with them, we can navigate them, we can reduce their power, we can decide not to even call them fear or failure, but they are there. Simply means that there'll be times when you can't take on something because, well, you just have this feeling in you that it's not going to work out, or, well, you see some danger coming, right? And you are like, nope, I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be ashamed. I don't want, those emotions are there. Those feelings are there. We can't make like, no, those things don't exist. They do. Failure, well, when you do something and maybe you don't get the results you wanted to do, and then you can say, well, I have failed, or people can say you are a failure, you didn't get it right. But well, as for me today, nothing is failure for me. Everything is an experience. It's a learning curve. It is what it is, right? And if I examine it properly, the situation, I can now get some meaning out of it, and tell myself, okay, well, if I did it this way and I got stuck, then it means next time, even if I want to do the same thing, I shouldn't do it that kind of way. I should do it this other way. That's what I call taking another route, right? Especially with those lessons in mind, in whichever area of your life. Okay, so what do we do with fear and failure? And of course, I'll talk about myself. What do I do with fear and failure? First of all, fear. Last week I said fear could mean, like Inyala said, false emotions appearing real, and which is something which is possible, right? You can just have those emotions due to your thoughts and due to the situation in which you find yourself and the surrounding circumstances, and you're like, this is it, my world is over, or doom is at hand, I'm never going to see my children again, oh my goodness, I am dying, it's not worth it, I'm not stepping out, and all of that. That is how fear, that's those false emotions, because, well, it hasn't happened, but it's just the concern that those things can happen. You just don't even want to dare. Or fear can be fold everything and run. You see danger coming, or you see a challenge coming, and you're like, I am finished, I'm not even going to dare, and so I am going to run. For example, one way of managing crisis is by avoiding. Somebody is a troublemaker, somebody likes to pick up fights on social media nowadays. It's like some people, it brings them fun to be walking around and picking up fights. Call them trollers, call them social monitoring spirits, call them whatsoever. So one way to deal with them is just to avoid them. If you see somebody, I personally do this, if I write the post, or if somebody writes the post, somebody I know, and I just go there and I want to comment, or I just see somebody commenting in a way like they're ready for battle, I just block that person very fast so that they don't even come near me, stuff like that. Or if I write my post and you just come and comment some kind of disrespectful and offensive comment, or looking like you want to start a fight, I reply trying to, put my post back to order, and then tell you to just go your way, or I just block you immediately. Even if I reply, I will still block you, because you are supposed to choose what you do with that fear of people coming to sabotage your post, people coming to steal your limelight. Of course, it's my limelight, it's my wall. So why should people come and want to hijack my post for whatever reason, right? Okay, fine. So that's what I do with fear. I can face it and I rise above it. I can fold it and run. I can be paralyzed and say, okay, I'm not even doing nothing about it. And what a failure. If I do something and I don't get it right, I just tell myself, well, good lesson. The other day I was saying to a friend, you have to forgive yourself for being foolish, for having been so foolish. And I did that to myself too. I've been foolish in a few relationships in my life. I'm talking about intimate partner relationships. I've been foolish in some investments. I've been foolish. So learn your lesson. I used to tell my mom, she would say, you have failed a lot in life. I said, no, I've had a lot of experiences in life. And we don't debate about that anymore, because we just come to realize it depends on how you see it. Anyway, one thing I did, to kind of tell my fears, I don't have no regard for you anymore. I wrote a book. The book is called What is the Worst Case Scenario? Fighting the Fear Within, Mindful of My Mental Challenges, because I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in 2014. It's good sometimes to have such a label, so you can just be blaming that label for everything. Okay, so in this book, I looked at my different major fears, because there are so many of them. I think the book has 12 chapters. It's on the Amazon. If you go on my website, you can see the shop. Maybe you can get it from there. I really am not so good at promoting my work, so that's not a failure. That's not a fear. Just like that's not my priority. Okay, fine. So, I looked at the fear of staying. I looked at the fear of living. I looked at the fear of loving. I looked at the fear of losing, the fear of failing, the fear of being loved. So you see, the fear of failing, you fear to fail. And you may even end up failing, because when you fear so much, you might not be able to study, because that fear is already gripping you. And of course, when you don't study, what happens? You fail. Okay, the fear of being loved. Yeah, when people come too close, sometimes I run. That's how it used to happen before. Now I'm looking for those kind of people. I'm not even seeing. Okay, the fear of loving, me too. I don't want me trouble. So sometimes once beaten, 10 times shy. You put your hand in the fire. Even if they say that fire will not burn you, it's only going to warm you. You don't even want to go you close anymore. Okay, the fear of stigma. Like people say, that one, you are a lunatic, or you are crazy, or you are diagnosed with a mental illness. You are this, you are that and stuff. Or you are a divorcee, you are a single mom, you are a this and that, you are a gigolo, you are whatsoever. All those things will stigmatize people. Yeah, I used to be like, if I put myself out there, people are going to judge me, people are going to stigmatize me. And then I wrote it down and I was like, you can get lost. Okay, so the fear of advocating for mental health, that is it, for mental illness. Mental health, mental illness are not really the same thing, but we put all of them together. Once you stand out as an advocate, especially using your personal story, oh my goodness, you need to have tough skin. I wink my eye for that. Okay, fine. And then the fear of dying. I love this one because it's one page in my book. I was like, what can I do about that one? Nothing. So I beg, let me better live my life to the fullest, so that when the time comes, I go. Like, sometimes I visualize I might be smiling like this. And I've told people, I don't want all that crying and all of those things. It can even shake my spirit up. So I beg, when I die, people should dance. I love dancing now. People should dance. People should celebrate. You can give me befitting burial too. I don't care. I will have given myself a befitting life before then. So yes, this is it. I am magnetic. That's my brand name. And when you have this kind of brand name, you are like, nothing should shake you up. What are you afraid of? What if you fail, and so what? So what do you do with fear and failure? Are you struggling to come to terms with those two things, or with any event in your life where you might want to book a session? Therapy is a laudable option, and I am here. I put my different links there. Do not hesitate. Do not suffer in silence. Okay, until next Tuesday, I am yours, Maria Banga. Thank you so much.